Staying with us now, our next guest started his career as a chiropractor. However, these days he's more businessman and entrepreneur than foot doctor.
He stepped into the Dragon's Den in an effort to secure funds to build his company. Unsuccessful, but undeterred, his company in Ennis, County Clare has since gone from strength to strength. His name is Dr. Travis McDonough, and he's here with us now. But before we speak to him, let's see him in action in the Dragon's Den.
And we're actually going to get you to walk across the pad, just like you'd be walking down the street, placing one foot in the box at a time. Okay, we're off to the races. Perfect. We can see right away that there are some problem areas.
What do you mean some problem areas?
Right now we have an angulation in your toe from here to here, and it's the early signs of a bunion, okay, called hallux valgus.
Old age.
I was going to have a go, but I'm not going to, I think.
This toe is starting to head towards Liverpool when it should be straight. Okay, and you can see that if I pressed on the arch, it helps to straighten your toe out. This is a perfect example of someone who could benefit from wearing an orthotic.
You managed to charm them, Travis. I haven't seen them so entranced or mesmerised by someone. Was it intimidating walking in there? You seemed very in control and very confident.
Well, certainly walking up those stairs, you know, your heart is palpitating, your palms are sweaty, and it's a nerve-wracking experience. Anytime you're in front of some of those great economic minds and you're exposing your business intricacies, it's a bit of a daunting task. However, we got along very well with them for the first 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you can believe it, we were there for 3 hours, and the first 2 hours and 45 minutes went terrific, but around that time there was a few things that didn't go as well as we would have liked, and yeah, there were sort of one or two things. But number one, I started to ask one of the guys a lot of questions because I wanted to know what they were about and what their visions were and that sort of thing. And he kind of made a joke saying, "Oh, it sounds like you should be up in my seat." And I joked and said, "Well, maybe I should." So I got up and he came back where I was. I sat in his seat and we had great banter.
Who was that with?
That was Duncan Bannatyne.
Okay, yeah.
And at that point in time, we kind of said, "Gosh, we thought you knew more about this," because he actually owned 3 of our systems at that point, but he didn't know it. So the Dragons made great fun of that, and but he wasn't impressed. Also, they were really interested in getting involved in the Irish company, because I had 3 companies at the time: a UK company, excluding Northern Ireland, a Northern Irish company, and then a Republican company. At that point in time, I wasn't willing to let them invest in the Irish company because it was going so well. At that point, we had about 35,000 sales of orthotics, and we were gaining momentum all the time. But so, you know, all in all, it was a great
success going, Travis, then why would you need them? Surely you just go to your local bank and say, "Hey, listen, we're flying here. Let's roll it out across all the territories." That's
an excellent question. And one of the things we didn't really need the finances. What we needed was the business acumen, and we were trying to leapfrog, you know, 3 or 4 years of hard work in order to get this product out into the marketplace. You know, you might be able to appreciate that it's inside people's shoe, so it's not something where brand awareness is as common as if it was, you know.
Okay, let's actually go back and analyse what you did there. Essentially, you have a mat that people walk on, and basically you study their gait.
Yes, yeah.
Or we used to say in Cork, their gait.
Yes.
How they walk.
Okay, yeah.
And from that, you can determine where they're putting pressure on what points of their feet, where they're off balance, and basically how to correct that.
Absolutely.
And then you design an insert for their shoes, effectively. Exactly. So that's basically what it is. It's a kind of a super high-tech insole which corrects your posture and stance and your gait.
That's it.
It seems brilliantly simple.
And it really makes sense. And everyone who sees it, you know, kind of says, "Wow." You know, patients who walk across it and the information comes up into the computer, they can point to the problems, and we can do it in a tangible and an objective manner, almost like an MRI. You can see exactly where those problems are, where the lesions are, not just in the foot, but how the foot influences the knee, hip, and lower back. There's an explosion of research right now that shows that the foot is the determining factor on the health status of the knee, hip, and lower back. A perfect example is lower back problems, and the arch should be the biggest shock
Mark's nodding
absorber.
his head violently.
Go on.
Yeah, it's so common. That's
Yeah.
right. And these discs are like plums, you know. And what happens if the ground reactive forces aren't being absorbed by the foot? They ascend up the kinetic chain and go through the knee, hip, and turn these plums into prunes, and people end up with basically disc degeneration. And what our technology will do will allow us to prevent this problem. There's 3 or 4.
Is it
Sorry.
new technology?
Yes,
because,
it is, yeah.
I remember doing this. I remember running on one of these things to get fitted for trainers and stuff. So is it the product that's new or the technology?
It's both.
Both.
Yeah, there were sort of prehistoric type of gait scanners that had a much lower frequency of sensors and scanning speed. We have such a high level of scanning speed and such a major frequency of scanning that we can determine even the smallest aberrations, and that's very, very important.
Okay.
In the prescription device of an orthotic, and that's really what separates us from others, in that detailed prescription of orthotics can make a massive difference in the overall biomechanical integrity of the body.
There's frightening stats in terms of the amount of time that people spend on their feet. Just how much, and I mean, it's one of those things that it's part of your body that you completely take for granted.
You do, absolutely.
Especially men. Now, I know women are more careful about their feet, and obviously because
We
of the
might
shoes
look
they
after
wear.
the way they look, but we destroy them.
We do, yeah.
Women actively destroy their feet every day by wearing heels, and I am one of those women, and I still do it. And, it's crazy.
And we wouldn't try to tell someone never to wear, high heels, whatever. However, with the correction, we can make a major difference in providing them cushion and support.
Travis, how much time does the average person spend on their feet a day? How many miles do they cover? And then extrapolate that out across, say, a year.
The average person will take between 10,000 and 15,000 steps per day, which is equivalent to 4 miles in any given day. That's 500,000 kilograms of pressure going through their foot in a given day. And in a lifetime, that equates to 4 times around the Earth's circumference. Wow. So you can imagine if there's even the tiniest problem or the smallest aberration, again, that's manifesting every time they're taking a step. That's why getting an orthotic is the best investment, I believe, in preventing hip degeneration, lower back pain, knee problems, foot pain, like heel spurs.
Well, the ounce of
bunions.
prevention is obviously worth the pound of cure, but the problem is that many of us find ourselves in this situation. So, do they work in terms of
regression?
Restoring and regression?
Yeah, they will. What they'll do is they'll arrest the further progression of degeneration, which is very, very important. And when they go in, because of the nature of the plastics that we use, they'll actually turn on the local musculature in the foot. So they actually are like a little rehabilitation tool
so it's
at
going
the
to be
same
agony
time.
while you're getting used to them then, so is it?
It
Let's
takes
be
a little
honest.
time. It will take a week or two.
Well,
for
I've
your
had
body
experience
to,
of this because I have one leg seriously shorter than the other, and I had to have an insert in it. Now, all my muscles had adjusted to that gait.
Yes,
so when they readjusted it, it felt like I'd been kicked
It takes some time.
hard for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons also why this technology and these orthotics are only prescribed through healthcare practitioners, chartered physiotherapists, chiropractors, physical
walk in
therapists.
So you can't
Right.
walk into a shop and buy them?
No, you can't, and that's also been a hurdle
If you
for
could,
us.
how much would they cost?
If you walked into one of our practitioners, it's going to cost you anywhere from $250 to $350.
250.
Yeah,
to
250 to 350 euro again, which is a small price to pay for the prevention of a hip degeneration, or even a few days off work from back pain that's caused from.
And how long do they
You would
last,
pay
Travis?
200 to 300 for a really good pair of shoes.
Absolutely.
And what about the Christian Louboutins?
They're actually Aldos. They're Aldos, 100 quid.
But I mean, seriously.
Well, shoes are generically made as well. So if you and I had the same size foot, and I had a high arch and you had a low arch, we're going to get the same shoe, and it might be good for you and not good for myself. Where this specifically creates a customized atmosphere for the bony architecture.
But once you're fitted with them, is that it for life then? Could you wear them? What's the lifespan?
The lifespan actually on the plastic here. We can just show you one. Yeah, it's the lifespan on the plastic is actually for life. They'll last you for life. And this is a new type of plastic. It's called thermoplast, and it returns energy to the foot, very similar to the soft tissue structures. In a tremendously performing foot.
So Travis, where can people get them basically?
They can get them in healthcare practitioner.
So go to your physiotherapist.
Chiropractor,
Or chiropractor.
osteopath, podiatrist, orthopedic surgeon, neurologist. On our website, www.TOG International.
They're called TOGs, aren't they?
TOGs, yeah, Exactly, and that stands for the Orthotic Group.
Okay.
But that's why we want to keep it in the hands of
Do you know
the,
what?
of the
I think it's an
professionals.
absolutely brilliant idea, and it's just one of those things that we take for granted.
You should try them, see if it works. And then tell the viewers whether it does or not.
That's
The
right.
best test we can have.
I'd love to have
Would
an
it be right
opportunity
thinking
to
that you're
scan
on your way to
output.
being a very wealthy man?
Well, hopefully,
not one already.
If things continue to go the way that they're, I'm very proud that this is an Irish company. You know, our clinical director, our financial director, our staff, it's Irish-based. However, if we can capture the same success in the Irish market, you know, we roll it out across Europe, things will go well. Hopefully,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, well, I've just had the producer in my ear saying if we don't wrap this up, he's going to shove one of those where the sun don't shine. So it's been a
Travis,
pleasure,
thank
and
you
it's a
very
great
much.
success story.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations
Thanks
to you.
very much.
We'll take a break now. See you back here in a few minutes' time.